almost every tractor and the farm equipment would run on whatever oil you gave it. Diesels can basically run on anything. And so to test this theory, and as I was learning this, I bought an old Mercedes diesel in 1985 and ran it on vegetable oil.
Hey, Segovia, back with another video. Hope everyone out there is having a good day and a good start to our week. Y'all, we're back. We got an hour banger we're going to get into. We ain't going to do too much talking. We'll save that for the end. Enough with the chit chat. Let's do what we all came here for. Let's get into the reaction. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
People are broke. Now there's proof showing up in the numbers. Kellogg's reported an 8.6% drop in cereal sales. Crocs pulled its entire financial forecast. Heineken says people are drinking less. And even global giants like Nestle are seeing sales fall across the board. And what's scary about this, it's not about cutting luxuries. People are walking away from everyday items. Candy, snacks, fast food, takeout. Last Saturday, I went for lunch at a popular restaurant. Usually packed at noon, we expected a wait. Instead, we were just a handful of people there. Because consumers are cutting back hardest on items that bring joy. Chips, chocolate, going out to dinner. Not because they want to, because simply they don't have the fucking money. And companies know it. Forecasts are being pulled. Behind the scenes, they see the truth. Demand just isn't slowing. It's fucking collapsing. After 5 brutal years, Americans are barely hanging on. And now the administration slaps tariffs on top of it. It's like throwing gasoline on an already burning house. These families are one missed paycheck away from financial collapse. Americans aren't tightening belts anymore. They've run out of fucking notches.
So now I'm going to bring up something that's going to offend a lot of people.
Amazing.
Okay, you ready?
Yes.
I have a friend. His name is Mari. I don't think he watches this, but Mari is Jewish. He's a successful Jewish banker. He lives in New York. And I've known Mari for over a decade. We've done business together. He's helped me with some of my banking considerations and some of my SEC FINRA stuff when I was submitting my venture fund for submission to the SEC and all that stuff. So good guy, respectable guy. What I love about him in all of his Jewishness is his absolute candor about the benefits that he receives of being a Semite.
At least he owns it.
And he owns it. He revealed to me, and I did the diligence on it, and this was one of the most shocking things that I ever realized in the world of business. And I have had moments in which I have actually considered bringing on a Semite into my team so I can take advantage of this financial opportunity. The financial opportunity is this. If you are a Semite, you can get 0 interest loans at banks anywhere in America. You just have to tell them. They will go to the back. They will show you, they will bring out a folder, a PDF of how you, as a Semite, can get a loan for your house, a car, extraneous things that you need, a boat, a business for 0 interest.
Well, it's not fair.
Look who is there. Bet he thought he could not have her there. Yes, girl, get started.
Does Mrs. McCron have a penis?
100%. Take it to the bank.
Why 100%?
First and foremost, just the circumstances leading up to it. The president of France does not send a legal letter to a journalist in Tennessee who is pregnant with her 4th child, trying to get a series stopped before it even begins. Okay, so he sent me a 100-page letter. The president of France and his wife.
Did you get offered money? Really?
Illegal. I got threatened first.
The new movie, Him, it's not just about a football player, y'all. It shows you everything. How they build you up to break you down. And if you want to reach the highest point, you got to sell your soul. This man, Jordan Peele, literally finna expose everything in this movie, y'all. In this trailer, it don't even show just a football player chasing greatness. It show him being built up to get broke down. Nah, look at this shit. This man is standing on a pentagram. He have his arms out, and then they put the eye in front of him, make like a cross. Y'all see that shit? And then you got Marlon Wayne saying, this is everything. Do you want this? What are you willing to sacrifice? Dog, look at the trailer playing over my head. Look at this shit. This is everything. This shit is crazy, creepy, demonic. I don't know if Jordan Peele's on the good side or the bad side. I don't know if he trying to say this is what he go through. A lot of people go through. I don't know if he exposed them. What do y'all think? this is wild.
And show me.
Telling y'all, not just football players, people in sports in general go through this. You want to reach the top of the top, you already know what you got to do. Look at LeBron James. I need y'all to share this and double tap if you caught the symbolism. And also, leave down below in the comments, what do you think they sacrificing?
Like, I think he might be on the dark side, y'all. I mean, look at all the symbolism and stuff he puts in movies, but that might be a good movie. But I remember there was a Bobby Lee podcast. I guess him and Jordan Peele used to be like real tight, like on Mad TV and stuff. And used to see him walk into work, so he'd give him a ride, like when he was down, like there. And somebody asked him, like, do you still talk to him? And he said, once in a blue moon, but we don't talk about what we used to talk about. Like, he doesn't hang out. He hangs out with Oprah, them top people, right? He said, we don't talk about video games and toys no more like we used to. Like, he's in that level. He's on that frequency now, right? But what do you guys think about that movie? I don't know. Might be kind of interesting to see a step into, because he knows he's in those circles. He knows what you got to do to get to those levels. He knows what he did to get to the level he's at, right? He went from nothing to something quick. And it might be something interesting to check out that movie, just to take a step into the sports world, right? Volcanoes in the middle of the ocean ready to blow up, y'all. They sneak the real news on the bottom, causing 10,000 earthquakes in one day. Jeez.
A number of claims are going viral that the leaders of the UK, Germany, and France were caught with a bag of the white stuff after the media entered their room on the train to Ukraine. And some of these claims have got tens of millions of views. So, is it true? Well, in the video, Keir Starmer joins Macron and Merz at the table, and after having a friendly interaction, they sit down for some pictures. This is when Merz grabs and hides what people are alleging to be a cocaine spoon, and Macron picks up something which people are claiming to be a bag of cocaine. However, if you actually go to the original high-res images captured by the AP, you'll see that what's claimed to be that bag looks more just like a crumpled napkin, and the spoon looks more just like a cocktail stirrer. I mean, it doesn't help that they look sus as hell while removing these items, but either way, what do you guys think?
Are you aware that we are sending $40 million a week to the Taliban? Yes, sir. Can you name other instances of foreign aid going to terrorist organizations? We have assisted Al-Shabaab in Somalia. There's been instances of the Hamzi network in Sudan, Hamas, Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah, Kataib al-Hezbollah, Hayat Tahrir al-Shams in Syria. Dozens of terror organizations have received indirect assistance from U.S. foreign aid.
If you want to say something, Mace, tell us why you didn't go. Mace, why you didn't go to the party? Mace, why you didn't go to the party?
Because I was in a hotel with Brandy.
You told me that Brandy told you, let's go to the party. Why you didn't go to the party? That's some sucker. You know why you ain't come. You couldn't answer that question. Mace, why you didn't come? Oh, I was in the hotel with Brandy. You told me Brandy was begging you to come. You forgot that, huh? I didn't. They tell people about the fact that Friday you went to the game and they told you. Makes you want to feel a certain kind of way, brother? You tell the truth.
Talk to me even more.
Chat, for the people, bro, it's so easy to lose weight, bro. I know there's probably people in the chat. Y'all probably like, bro, like, I want to lose this weight. Like, I want to get this weight off me. Listen to me, okay? Listen to me. That's all you have to do. Like, for the lazy people, don't yawn. What are you yawning for? For chat, for the lazy people who don't want to work out and want to lose weight, this all you got to do.
What?
Avoid eating these food.
What's that?
Carbs.
Bread, potatoes, fruits that has a lot of carbs in it. Peanut butter. Don't eat peanut butter.
Wait.
Don't eat banana. Don't eat any like carbs. Don't eat any food that's high in carbs. Literally any food. Don't eat any food that's high in carbs. Don't eat any sweets. Don't eat any cookies. Don't eat any cookies, whatever. None of that. Don't eat cookies or none of that.
What about
No rice neither. You can't eat rice. Don't eat rice. Just avoid carbs.
And I'm not into politicians at all. They don't make any money. They're set up to be bribed, and in the end, they're all worth like $50 to $100 million. And everybody thinks one side is better than the other. You know, I don't know. It's a weird time, but I just feel like someone needs to bring the boiling water down to a simmer, and everybody on both sides. Like if you watch CNN, Fox, you go online, or you listen to politicians, it's all, and then you walk out on the street, and someone's like, hey, how you doing? You're like, good. So I don't think they're living in like a reality.
But is there anybody getting your ire up these days more than usual?
Nerds.
Yeah.
The nerds that own the politician. All these tech nerds that want to build robots because they don't know how to talk to hot women.
Yeah.
They're gonna take over the world. They're gonna take over. They are literally gonna replace us. We're like beta right now, and they're coming out with like the VCR. And I think Elon has got the rockets going because they realize there's other Earths out there. Yeah. And they're gonna trash this one, and because they don't have any concern for it, and they're gonna move on to the next Earth. Everybody's gonna be standing down here with your blue and red ties, going, "Wait a minute, I was on your side," and they're just gonna leave.
Should we tell them what happened at Disneyland?
We don't matter at the end of the day.
We're kind of sick. We're actually very sick, and I'll tell you why. We spend every waking moment together, every minute, but if she's gone for like 2 days, I'm like, where's my wife?
Yeah.
And I need my wife. So I was like, yo, let's go out. We're going to spend the whole day together. We haven't seen you in 24 hours. This is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
So we go to the beach. We're having some pizza. We're having a good time. Then I was like,
this guy's going to be devastated. God forbid. You know, you're in the industry. You get millions of views, right? A lot of temptation out there for you and her. Better learn how to be alone, son. You never know, right?
like, yo, let me take her to downtown Disney. So we're here hanging out at downtown Disney, and I was like, you know what? Just because we're spontaneous like that, she was looking at Lego stuff that we could put together, and I said, hey, let's get this one so we could use it in our hotel room tonight. And then I showed her that we got a room tier. So we're having a great time. We're watching movies. We're ordering room service. You know, we're on the balcony. We're having a great time. Around like 1 o'clock at night, it's dead quiet, and I'm sitting there. Belle's right in front of me. The park is behind her, if that makes sense. All of a sudden, we just hear boom. Like, and bro, it exploded so hard, it shook us in the room. So I was like, yo, what's that? As it explodes, a crazy amount of fires over her shoulder. Then smoke goes up into the sky, but then makes a perfect circle black thing. Bro, like a scary movie. Me and Belle love Disney conspiracies. Is this the happiest place in the world? Or is it not? We see this and we're like, yo, perfect circle. It's been there for 3 minutes, 4 minutes, not dissipating.
And the smoke from that came out is like this black, like almost like you could see the oil in the smoke. Like it's like a black ring.
It was there in the sky for like 15, 20 minutes. It wouldn't go away. And I'm like, yo, that's witchcraft. That's witchcraft. Somebody just got sacrificed. So I literally just started making jokes. I'm like, yo, this is a sacrificial thing. This is a spiritual thing. So then we get on our phone to see where it comes from. The exact position of where that explosion came from. What was it called?
The Spirit Cave.
So now me and Bella are just laughing, trying to scare each other a little bit. And we're like, yo, they're sacrificing people in there right now. Like, it's all true. We're making jokes. We go inside. We come back out a little later that night. It's around like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Bro. Then we hear somebody screaming for their life. Like, when I mean screaming for your life, not like, like, get me out of here, I'm dying.
Bloody murder.
Yeah, and then she stopped screaming, and then we never hear it again.
It was like a good 5-second, like,
yeah, it was like a terrifying scream.
It. And then, after that, another like 20, 30 minutes after that, music starts playing. Ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
ding,
creepy
ding,
music.
ding, 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 ding.
So there's two things to this. Is either one, they are doing sacrifices out there. They're killing people. Or the rides were just being tested. I would like to think somebody's getting sacrificed.
So the Pentagon is bracing for a return of the Anunnaki. Yeah, the Anunnaki. Now, the only thing that makes sense to me as to why they will be waiting on the return of the Anunnaki is if they have had some type of contact with these beings. And if y'all have noticed that the Anunnaki, the lore behind the Anunnaki has gotten increasingly, like there's been way more talk about them lately. And with all the things going on in the sky, all the talks about aliens, all of the weird things going on in the atmosphere, people seeing weird things like with the thing in Israel, and remember the mall in Miami. And so they have been conditioning us to get ready for these Anunnaki to return as well. Now, those of you who have eyes to see and ears to hear, we know that whatever beings they are, whether you want to call them aliens, Anunnaki, demons, the fallen angels, the Nephilim spirits, the Nephilim itself, Satan and his army, whatever you want to call them, we know that it all is demonic. That's one thing that we know. Those who have eyes to see and ears to hear, do not fall into this whole, oh, these Anunnaki gods. And and you know there's going to be some people who comment on this video and say, oh my gosh, they're so real, they're gods, they're this, they're that. And they're going to paint these beings in a good light. They're going to paint these beings in a positive light. Do not fall for the deception. Remember, when and if these things appear, it will not be for the benefit of the world. It will be for the benefit of Satan, the ruler of this world, the lowercase g, God of this world. Do not be deceived. Remember, do not be deceived is mentioned several times over and over again, because as it pertains to the last days, there will be deception running rampant. Do not be deceived by this. Remember, Jesus is on the throne. It's all about God, and they're going to try to do everything to deceive you into believing that these beings are positive or good beings. They're not. Okay? And if I had to tell you, if I had to take a guess, it's either A, the fallen angels who have disguised themselves, or B, it is the offspring of the fallen angels and the women that created these beings, or even C, remember, they were kind of manipulating humanity and manipulating life as we know it. So it could be a creature mixed with a human, mixed with another thing. Whatever the case may be, it is all demonic. Do not play into the lore. Remember that Jesus is still on the throne, and he is Lord, and he is returned.
The Pentagon has already confirmed that the drones that are being seen all over New Jersey are not from any other nation or Iran. They are literally aliens. Let that shit sink right in. Ask anybody in New Jersey right now. They're going to tell you. Look it up on TikTok. There's going to be so many videos of people with their literal phones pulled out recording this stuff. There's videos of people sitting in their cars. Many people sitting in their cars, and the radio has been interfered with from the aliens, and all you hear is like this weird sound. I'm gonna try to find it. Hold on. That sounds so fucking creepy. I would be so creeped out. I would be literally scared to get out of my car. If you live in New Jersey, I feel so bad for you, because y'all are going to be one of the first ones to get got by the fucking aliens.
Now, I always heard Colorado's the first, right? They have all these underground bases, nuclear. We see what goes on at the airport. A lot of ex-military dudes go to Colorado. But I don't know, y'all. The Pentagon's saying this stuff. Pentagon's saying this. Is this going to happen in our lifetime? The next, 500 years, or the next 50, 100 years, which is very, very soon in terms of the universe, right? It's a blink of an eye.
A week before the album comes out, what happened? Snoop was on trial for murder. 1 week the shooting happened. A week later, they come out with what? Murder Was a Case. The song.
You're right.
Okay. Now let's look at the marketing. Has nothing to do with Snoop. It's just the reality. It's just the truth is what it is. Let's look at the marketing. Gangster rapper. Right? What would validate a gangster rapper more than going through a murder trial? Am I right or wrong?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So what would validate it more? And then now you can attach that to this star who they are saying allegedly actually did it. Murder was a case that they gave me. Right? Then what did Snoop say? I'm innocent. I'm innocent. You remember that at the award show? Look it up.
Yeah, I remember that.
That song was done way before. It was a song on the album. Had nothing to do with the murder case.
but God allowed it for the murder case. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it had nothing to do with that. That song was already done. Before the shooting had ever happened, it was a song that was on his album. So now you have all of the people, everybody in the world, looking like Snoop did this. When you find out that it was his bodyguard that actually protected him, and it was righteous, and God forbid that it was legal and it was right. Come on, man. Nah, what the media wanted, right? They wanted it to be gang related. They wanted it to be something else. They didn't want me to speak. They didn't want me to be professional. They didn't want me to be a professional bodyguard. They didn't want me. They didn't want that. They want me to be something else. However, it was the truth that set us free.
Bro, what did Pope Leo just do to the world? This weekend, the Pope delivered his very first address in which he appealed to the world's powerful and praying for the miracle of global peace. And then, on Monday, we wake up to the news that India and Pakistan have pulled back from the brink of war and agreed to a ceasefire. The United States and China met in Switzerland and finally agreed to a deal, and both of them will now reduce their tariffs by 114%. The Kurdish military group PKK announced plans to disarm and dissolve after 40 years of fighting with Turkey, which has ended the lives of over 40,000 people. The United States met with Iran and both committed to finding ways to address their differences. And then finally, a number of European leaders gathered in Ukraine to deliver Russia an ultimatum: agree to an unconditional 30-day ceasefire or face massive new sanctions. And then, last night, for the first time in years, Putin has offered to meet Zelensky face-to-face this week in Turkey, an offer that Trump urged Zelensky to immediately accept. All of that one weekend. So the question is, was the Pope poping, or would this all have happened regardless?
Dr. Fauci, little Dr. Fauci, more of a goblin than a person. Tiny body, big war criminal.
Canyon Lake Gorge, which is down towards San Antonio, is a site that in 2002, there was a heavy, heavy rain, and Canyon Lake is a reservoir. It overflowed, and it cut this canyon and reproduced all these features like recessional cataracts and plunge pools and all these kind of things geologists assumed were kind of slow to form, but are very similar to some of the things that are on a much grander scale. What it is it's kind of almost forced a revision in thinking, because basically they're seeing this duplication of these forms, although on a smaller scale, but formed in 2 days and not thousands of years. You probably heard the term the ice-free corridor.
Yeah.
The old ideas that North America was exclusively populated by the Clovis people coming across the Bering Land Bridge, which was exposed because of lowered sea levels, migrating down through Alaska and through that ice-free corridor down into unglaciated North America, and then eventually all the way down to Tierra del Fuego within 1,000 years. Now you've got this gradual warming. Now at about 12,850 to 12,900 years ago, that process is suddenly interrupted by this massive spasm of cold. Basically undoes 2,500 years of warming. And now the planet is plunged back into full glacial cold, and it takes like 1,300 years for the planet to resume its upward arc of warming.
Imagine this. Where are they at? Hell no. It's my worst nightmare. That thing's huge.
Calls somewhere out there in the world is one of two things: a known species of whale that's calling and making a sound that nobody's ever heard or recorded before, or larger theory, an unknown species called the loneliest whale, meaning there's only one or two of them out there.
So y'all saw what was floating over the ocean in Sydney, Australia this weekend, right? The black, terrifying mass that was just floating over the ocean? No? Well, if you haven't, don't worry. I'm going to show you at the end of this video, those videos, so stay for that. But yeah, in Australia this weekend, a dark, black, ominous, terrifying mass-like cloud was just seen and videoed floating over the ocean. Now, I did a little bit of research because obviously scientists are going to say that it's of natural causes, and it's something called a scud cloud. But I'm going to tell you what I believe. I believe it's a portal opening, and I believe it's something from another dimension breaking through. Now, you don't have to believe what I'm saying. You make up your own mind when you see the video, but the video looks very similar to other things that I've seen when I've been going down rabbit holes about portals opening. But I'm not here to tell you to believe one thing or the other. You make up your mind. That's not my call. However, also in Australia, they just confirmed that they're building the world's first black box to record the demise and destruction of the Earth. So over the weekend, coming out of Australia, we have this black-like cloud just floating over the ocean, you'll see, and now Australia is creating the world's black box that's going to record our destruction. Now, remember, anything we talk about is for education, conversation, learning, and entertainment purposes only, so take what you will, leave what you don't want. That's not for me to decide your life. Now, watch the video and let me know in our...
Back in the day, almost every tractor and the farm equipment would run on whatever oil you gave it. Diesels can basically run on anything. And so to test this theory, and as I was learning this, I bought an old Mercedes diesel in 1985 and ran it on vegetable oil in a biodiesel blend. And I drive it across the country, and every time I'm stopping at a stoplight, it smells like fried chicken or potatoes. And the thing, one of the issues with it was that it tends to gob up and gel up when it gets below like 40 degrees and approaches freezing. So I remember by Santa Fe, I needed to rip out the fuel filters and replace it because it was all globbing up and I couldn't drive away until the sun came out. So anyway, learning about all this and smelling it and being up close and personal with vegetable oil, I decided way back then, early, I'm not going to eat this stuff. This is ridiculous. What is wrong with our food system?
Looks like hell.
Hey, so I actually have no idea what the fuck this is. It was all the way down there a couple minutes ago. I took my glasses off. I look up, it's right next to me, and I'm kind of scared. Someone help! What is it?
Kobe Bryant, when his helicopter crashed, he was actually in the middle of a lawsuit to testify against the supplement brand that he had partnered with because they had found traces of methamphetamines inside the pre-workout. He died. Maybe the 20-year pilot just lost experience that one day, you know, it just made no sense.
You don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You
his
really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend?
A lot of people are saying that it's hypocritical, etc. As if
It is. All of the criticism is valid.
follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. Why can't you say when Democrats are wrong?
It's always hilarious to see The View get called out for being hypocrites to their face, but coming from one of their own just makes it that much better. So here they are asking Charlemagne about the backlash Joe Biden is facing from the Democrat side of the aisle, and he just destroys them. Watch.
Let me ask you something that's going around right now. A lot of this conversation about President Biden getting criticized from both sides of the aisle for pardoning his son Hunter after repeatedly saying he would never do it. And a lot of people are saying that it's hypocritical, etc., as if the other side doesn't do it. But what's your reaction to it?
I mean, I think all of the criticism is valid because, you know, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time. And, you know, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, you know, whether or not, you know, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now. But since they were calling Trump a threat to democracy and they were saying that, you know, nobody's above the law, but they were speaking about him, that's what they were running on. So when he kept saying things like, oh, you know, nobody's above the law, I respect, you know, the jury's decision in regards to my son, he didn't believe that. But he didn't have to volunteer that lie.
You're a doctor? I am. When was the last time you ate a vegetable? Probably about 5.5 years ago. Humans are apex predators, top of the food chain. What other apex predator eats salad? There are things in meat that you have to have that you cannot get from plants. But there is nothing in plants or fungus that you have to have that you cannot get from meat. So you have to eat meat, and you certainly don't have to eat plants. And I would argue that you don't want to eat plants for optimal health.
And were you a genie back in the day?
No, man. It was a lot. Everybody thought it was Shazam. It started about 2008, 2000. I don't even know how it got started. I don't even know how it started. Then it got to the point. People remember the same scene. They only remember one scene, me and two little kids. They don't remember no other part of the movie. And everybody says, I watched it as a kid. I said, okay, all you people watched it? I would give $10,000. I put it online. I would give $10,000 to anybody to bring up the videotape. Everybody got fake boxes. They Photoshop boxes. I said, focus the tape in the box. Because everybody got these good boxes. I
So
said,
it's the Mandela effect.
It's beyond that. It's beyond it because Mandela was in prison. You know, the Bernstein Bears, there were bears. There was never Usher's and there was never Genie movie. So this one has no basis on anything. To the point where people think I stole off the tape back.
I remember it, y'all. I vividly remember. I didn't see it. I didn't see the one with Shaq. Wasn't my cup of tea when I was that age, right? I didn't see either one, but I do remember. I remember the cover. I remember it.
Those are fucking cars.
This must be how they unload these?
Bro.
Cars are hauling ass.
That was horrible.
But it's haunted, right? The Comedy Store. Don't
Yeah, I did see a little something one time. Middle of the damn day. I took a break from the phones to go smoke a cigarette, so you have to walk like down a hall and through the dark belly room because all those lights are
Sure.
off during the day. And when I broke the pathway into the belly room, there was just a weird feeling that happened, and then this human height looking jellyfish, like vibrating, kind of see-through, kind of jellyfish-esque, just this weird blob.
A ghost.
Yeah, it certainly seemed like it. I know.
Beating around the bush.
I know.
How long were you there in the room with the ghost?
I'd say probably 5 to 10 seconds. And
You froze or you...
froze, and then I walked away. You would think you would run,
Right.
but you don't feel you don't feel
But it
like
did
running.
stay there the whole time?
Yeah,
It did,
the way it moved, it seemed like it was surprised to see me. So I walk away, and I don't tell anybody. This is where shit gets crazy. Is later that night, the house piano player of 35 years or whatever, Jeff Scott, we always had a tradition where right before we opened the doors, we'd go smoke a bowl, we'd come back to the original room and open the doors. So this is where things get interesting. The exact same day that I saw whatever the hell I saw, we're going to smoke. He's walking ahead of me. He walks through the bar. We're going to the back to Sacred Ground, that little alleyway. He gets ahead of me because I'm saying hi to a waitress in the bar area. And then by the time I'm almost to that door, he's walking by me, now this direction, like he had seen a ghost. And I go, Jeff, where are you going? We're smoking. He goes, whoa. And he snaps out of it. And he goes, dude, I just saw something crazy. I go, what did you see? And I'm fucking tripping in my head because I literally am going, please don't fucking say a white kind of blobby jellyfish looking thing.
Well,
And-
actually,
and-
it's better if it's just one
yeah.
ghost.
Yeah, yeah.
Was it?
It was.
So it was the same ghost.
Same exact thing,
Yeah.
except this time it was outside and it moved how he said that my thing moved, which is kind of like, yeah.
Yeah.
Bruh, this is wild. So the Diddy federal trial just started, and the prosecutors came out swinging. I'm gonna break it down for y'all real quick. According to the prosecutors, Diddy wasn't just living a superstar lifestyle. They said he ran a criminal operation behind the scenes. The charges: unlawful transportation, serious trafficking offenses, and racketeering. And allegedly, they said this went on for 20 years. Your boy thought he was starting an empire. They say he organized wild parties, the one we know, the Freak-Offs, and another one called King Nights. So they said when these parties happen, women was allegedly forced to take in prescriptions. Y'all know what I mean. And had to do acts that they didn't want to do while being watched and recorded at the same time for blackmail. So one of the women being Cassie, which is Diddy ex, says she was assaulted multiple times and she had to do the acts. And if not, Diddy was going to release some videos and photos of her. Another woman that goes by Jane said for years she was suffering physical abuse and she had to take the substances to cope with it. She was forced to take it. Y'all, this trial is about to get even crazier. This is only day one. So if you want to stay updated, hit that follow button, share this video, like this video.
You said,
you know what's crazy is, like, they've been knowing this has been going on forever. I mean, what was Diddy known for? His parties, right? I mean, us on the outside that are, especially back in the early 2000s, you know, we didn't have phones to dive deep into this or hear people exposing. We got our news from the news, from, you know, late night talk shows, from newspaper, right? We didn't have TikTok, we didn't have Instagram. Like, we had MySpace at the early stages, which had nothing to do with this, right? But they've known this has been going on. I mean, that the thing that broke this open was the video of him in the hotel of dragging Cassie through the hotel lobby. Well, that happened like a year or two ago, and they paid off the hotel to, like, be quiet, don't say nothing. But when the machine is done, how many times did I say this? When the machine is done with you, cat's out the bag, y'all. But the sad thing is, like, they know this has been going on. They know these things are still going on. Just somebody took over. Is it 50 Cent? Is it Jay-Z? I don't know. The machine's not done with them yet, but it's going on still to this day. You think the party's over now because Diddy got arrested? You think the parties are over? You don't think they're throwing parties no more? I mean, they've been doing this recipe forever. So the party must go on. The party goes on, y'all. Party goes on. It's still happening right now. The baby's starting to move, y'all. We got to get through with this reaction.
Enforcement is the biggest cult of all time.
It's unreal.
The mind fucking games that you go through when you're wearing a uniform and you become a cop, like, you're like, if these guys say I'm bad, I'm dead to the world.
Yeah.
And then you forget the fucking world hates cops. They could say, if you have enough confidence and you're like, fuck this place, and you walk, like, no one's gonna think anything different.
It is a cult. I couldn't get out of it. Look at the academy recruits. So you look at a kid who's 19 years old, right? Just 3 days before that, he's in his garage playing, Xbox, whatever he's doing, right? And he's part of like a gaming club, and he's just a kid, right? And then 3 days later, he's getting sworn in, and they're telling him, you were selected.
Yeah.
You were personally chosen out of thousands of applicants. You are now going to serve. And without even knowing much of the Constitution, you work for the public. And I never thought about it until I got out, but I approached a cop once, literally lost, and didn't realize where I was at of state. I was walking up to his car, was like, hey, trying to walk up to him. He was on the way. He's like, what do you want? And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to get here. He's like, what? I was like, trying to figure out how to get. He's like, you don't have GPS? I was like, yeah, but it's not working.
Damn, that sounds like me.
but I'm just saying, like, the feeling inside is like, you know what? Fuck you.
Full circle. It's just this disease of law enforcement. That guy is probably at his wit's end with admin. Correct. It's not the public that's making him feel that way, but it's the public feeling it.
But they fucking beat you down for so many years and treat you like shit to the point that you're so broken.
I have this crazy idea that I will order pizza. And so if I do, I don't want it to go to waste. Who will eat pizza if I... Jennifer? Yes? Harrison? Yes? Yes? One? All right. Too large? What do you think? I'm going to order some pizza. That's what I'll do. So I borrowed Pharrell's hat, and I thought I'd pass it around and get some money for the pizza, because nobody ever really... What do you have, Harvey? 200?
I was like, oh my God. Streamers in the world wouldn't sell their soul, so he was blackballed. Watch this.
Phantom said that they kicked him out the Twitter group chats, like all these group chats, and they kicked him out of AMP, which is actually crazy because this is how you know they have handlers, because AMP...
All these streamers have handlers.
Phantom is one of the originators of AMP, originally. Kai Cenat was not the face of AMP. He wasn't the star kid, He was the industry plant.
Mm-hmm.
And I got off of this type of content because they be on your page a lot. When you speak on certain people, they be feeling like you trying to like bully them and stuff like that. But I'm not bullying nobody, and we just asking certain questions And then when people that are in these groups are having experiences and they're talking out and they're saying things, because Phantom said that he made this post. I'm not making this up.
Watch.
TikTok. Now, I don't know if this is a fake page, but he said they sold their soul. They mad I won't do it. That's Phantom
His
Snapchat,
exact
though. You see a
words.
star next to it, right? And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of things behind the scenes. This might be promotion. This might be fake news. But, hey, you don't play with nobody name like that when you already got millions of conspiracy theorists that's going to hop on here and immediately make these videos. They know what they doing. And I'm going on a rant, too. He's saying they forgot all the shit I did from him and all that on his main Twitter. So, how y'all feel about this situation?
Stay weird.
So far. Oh, let's get it on now. Nice. I've whirled it down. Drive the elephant.
There's no point, mate.
Oh, yeah.
So on Monday, May 12th, Taiwan test fired for their very first time their new U.S.-supplied high-mobility artillery rocket systems, which are also known as HIMARS, which are very popular in Ukraine right now as well. They received their first batch of HIMARS back last year when they received 11 of them. These things have a range of roughly 300 kilometers and could literally hit coastal targets in China's southern province of Fujian on the other side of the Taiwan Strait if they needed to in the event that a conflict began. Now, the United States trained the Taiwan military team to fire the rockets from the Juping Test Center on a remote part of the Pacific coast of Taiwan. Now, the intent behind why the U.S. is giving HIMARS to Taiwan is to be used as a deterrent to deter China from any further aggression or escalation towards Taiwan. Now, this test took place about 1 day after Taiwan had detected another joint combat readiness patrol by China's military near the island, which involved numerous warplanes and also naval vessels. Do you think that having HIMARS on the island of Taiwan is going to give them a little bit of an edge?
Yeah, I'm kind of blacklisted. I haven't gotten a studio job in 15 years.
So you feel in a way that you are banned from the...
No, not in a way.
You are?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Shut the video camera off.
I will keep it on until we're rehearsing.
Oh, damn! Val Kilmer didn't just walk away from Hollywood, he was erased. Right after reaching the peak of his career, he vanished from blockbusters without warning. And now, Mel Gibson is finally revealing the disturbing truth about why Kilmer refused to play by the rules, and how that decision may have cost him everything. Let's rewind to the 1980s and early 90s. Val Kilmer wasn't just in movies, he was the movie. Juilliard-trained, youngest accepted ever, and bursting with raw talent, Kilmer had the kind of magnetism casting agents for. He was cocky, sure, but he had the receipts. Top Secret, Top Gun, The Doors, Tombstone. When he played Jim Morrison, fans swore he was Morrison. By the time he put on the Batman suit for Batman Forever in 1995, he was Hollywood royalty. But just as fast as he rose, he vanished. When Batman and Robin came around, Kilmer was nowhere in sight. George Clooney stepped in. No explanation, no follow-up, just silence. Director Joel Schumacher didn't just let it slide. Joel did not hold back when he finally aired out his drama with Val Kilmer in an interview with The Independent. Like, he went off. This wasn't shade, this was full-blown deforestation. He straight up called Val psychotic. He ranted about being done defending overpaid, overprivileged actors, and even said he prayed to never work with Val again. Then he added the ultimate petty line. He was badly behaved, he was rude and inappropriate. Then we had 2 weeks where he did not speak to me, but it was bliss.
Faces of Death, I feel like, was fake.
I would look.
Did you guys never watch those?
I watched them when I was a kid. I couldn't tell.
Like,
Real or fake. I had no idea.
websites and shit. I'm talking. This is how old I am.
There was a tape going around.
Yeah, it was like a VHS going around with it.
And he went to the bad kid's sleepover, and he had it.
We went to the rich kid's house who had a TV in the basement, finished basement, and we were like, we can watch it down here.
Yeah,
and it was fucking wild. And then you had to act cool when crazy shit was happening. You're like, no, this is fine. You wouldn't watch. You're like, oh, I was just looking at my shoes. That was when you bitched out in front of your friends the first time. You go,
my parents wouldn't let me watch this. I have to call them.
Yeah. I'm at Adam's house.
Adam got Faces of Death. I told him we weren't allowed to watch it.
You should go to prison for abuse if you're telling your clients that have a 3% mortgage rate to sell their house. An agent that would tell their client to sell their home that has a 3% mortgage might be the dumbest human being on planet Earth when it comes to building wealth. They clearly don't understand how the velocity of money works. How much would I pay in interest if I had a 30-year mortgage with a loan amount of $500,000 at 3% interest?
You pay about $252,406 in interest over the life of the loan.
And what if I had a 7% interest?
At a 7% interest rate on a $500,000 loan over 30 years, you'd pay about $697,040 in interest. Quite a difference compared to the 3% rate.
And that, folks, is why you should not be telling your clients to sell their 3% mortgage and go upgrade a home and buy a new mortgage at 7% interest. You would be better off renting your property out that you own at 3% and keeping it, and then renting the new house.
How long?
Yeah, but that house that they got at 3%, that's, you're going into a 500,000 house. That house that you got for 3% was probably like 200,000, and you're going to sell it for 500,000. But I get what he's saying. But if I had a 3%, I wouldn't move. I'm like at 6.5 right now. But the day this interest rate drops, there is going to be, since the pandemic, y'all, it changed. The world, the country, whatever, it changed, y'all. People don't want to work. People aren't working. People want to get away from their towns. Like the day this market goes down to 3%, there's going to be so much houses go on the market. Like because people forget that it was just like 2.8, 3% in 2020. It's not like it was, 20 years ago and it gradually moved up to like 7% in 10 years, right? It was just 3%, and houses were just 200,000 that are now 600,000. So imagine when it goes back down to 3%, there's going to be so much houses. People are going to have so much equity, and they're going to be able to go buy a house cash wherever they want in the country, y'all, except minus like the California, New Yorks, but like anywhere else, like they're going to be like houses are going to go on sale, y'all. It's going to go on sale. It's crazy what's going to happen if and when it goes back to 3%.
In this tunnel.
In these tunnels,
better be a realtor out there, y'all.
They had one homeless shelter that was overran, and I just followed the tracks and ended up down here.
That place, a network of tunnels stretching hundreds of miles, originally meant to divert rainwater, and now home to an entire underground population, all living just a few feet under the bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip.
How many people do you estimate are living here right now?
Approximately 12 to 1,500.
So we are 3 feet
Caesar's Palace.
beneath Caesar's Palace on the Las Vegas Strip.
You said it yourself, you've been here many times. You would never even know it was here.
Rob was addicted to a number of substances and says he's now been clean for nearly 7 years. This is a world he once knew firsthand.
I was underground for about 2.5 years. I had found somewhere that I could go and be left alone and not bothered and not have to worry about the direct sun or the wind or the randomness, right? And there was a lot of chaos in my tunnel too, but it was like the devil I knew.
Nationwide, the latest data shows more than 771,000 people experienced some kind of homelessness in 2024. The Trump administration has attempted to freeze some of the $5 billion allocated in 2021 for homelessness assistance. NBC News reached out to the White House for comment, but did not receive a response by deadline. Rob worries recent cuts in federal funding will jeopardize services for people like Jay, who says he's lived in the tunnels for 13 years.
Why did you choose to live down here instead of live on the surface?
It doesn't matter where you go, you can't be there. I just try to stay out of sight, out of mind. So this is more out of sight and out of mind than I thought.
Aaron, can you turn off that light so people can really feel just how dark and still it is down here? I mean, that is powerful. That's meaningful.
Yeah.
The choice or the circumstance that would bring you to this level of darkness, of desperation, of solitude.
We've made them feel so not a part of that they retreat underground because it's that guilt and shame, like just walking around.
Saving a quarter a day is $10,000 at the end of the year. Let that sink in.
So I did the math, and you're a little bit short.
What do you think is really under the Great Pyramid of Giza?
All the pyramids were located on the occult would call ley lines, feeding off the energy of the world. Occult, it's thought that they are technology that was supplied by the fallen angels and buried at 9 volts underneath Great Pyramid. The Masons say that the technology and the knowledge to build these pyramids came from Enoch. This knowledge that is buried under the Great Pyramid, according to the Gnostics, was found by Hermes and was taken to Nimrod, who initiated 1,000 masons who built the Tower of Babel. That's somehow going to get into heaven.
Stay asleep, please. I'm almost done.
Is there any animal that has a great PR team that is secretly kind of an asshole and dangerous?
Pandas.
Oh,
Dude, pandas.
No way.
They're dumb as shit. They will hand you, you could Google this, if you go to a panda in captivity and it has a baby and it's nurturing its cute little baby and you put out an apple, it will hand you its baby and take the apple. Swear to God, nobody talks about this. They're dumb as shit. They're mean. They're
Bad
terrible
moms.
parents.
Yeah.
They're bad moms. Yeah, and we're like, oh, the panda. It's like the symbol for WWF.
It's because
I
there's
love it.
videos where they're rolling around and looking dumb.
Because they're dumb.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. They got the easy street of PR, man. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
They are cuddly though.
Yeah.
Oh, they're adorable. Yeah.
A picture of the family at one of the balls, and that this figure right here was allegedly the nanny. The nanny is 7 feet tall. Yeah, okay. Then some people said that is absolutely not the nanny, that might be the guest of honor. Might not even be human. But anyways, let's get into this ball, y'all. Basically, they would have it at this chateau in France. It was owned by Marie Rothschild and her husband Baron de Guy de Rothschild, something like that.
Colombia just found the first piece of alien technology in history, and there's videos to prove it. You gotta see this story. This thing is being called the Buga Sphere. It was found in Colombia last month, and scientists have no idea how it was made. A glowing metallic sphere was caught on camera flying through the sky, descending silently, and then something insane happened. It didn't vanish. It didn't explode. It landed, and someone actually put their hands on it and picked it up. This isn't science fiction. This is real, and it might be the most convincing physical evidence of extraterrestrial technology we've ever had, if you can believe it. Videos started circulating of a floating metal orb, glowing with shifting lights, hovering low over the ground, no sound, no wings, no visible propulsion, and then it descended. I was gonna call it AI generated, but the way the orb moves and the length of the videos, technology just isn't there yet, so it has to be something else. One guy got so close he actually touched it. He says it was freezing cold, dense, and unlike anything he'd ever seen. At first it weighed about 4.5 pounds, but when taken to a lab, it registered 22 pounds. That alone raised eyebrows. It literally didn't change in size, but yet become 5 times heavier out of nowhere. But what scientists found next, that changed everything. The Buga Sphere was analyzed by a private tech company specializing in electromagnetic detection equipment. What they discovered was impossible. The sphere had no visible seams, no welds, no way of opening it, nothing. But it featured a strange black belt, markings resembling unknown symbols, looking like a strange language that doesn't exist. In the middle, it had what might be a quantum chip embedded into its structure, and its surface, when exposed to fire, it doesn't heat up. They put a blowtorch on it and nothing. It didn't burn or get hot. When splashed with water, it evaporates the liquid instantly, but it stays completely cool. It just doesn't seem to make sense. How can you pour water on it and then it evaporates, but then you could just touch it and it's not hot? X-rays revealed internal mechanisms, real components, not random junk. This thing wasn't hollow. It was engineered, designed, built for some kind of purpose. And here's the thing, just before it was handed over to Mexican journalist Jaime Maussan for further study, the team in Colombia received bizarre messages, some polite, some threatening, and one reportedly from Russia offering a deal for the sphere. Then again, I heard Putin isn't easy to make deals with. That's when the decision was made to get it out of Colombia. With official clearance from local authorities, Maussan brought the sphere to Mexico, where it's now under secure analysis. Could it be alien tech, or just a surveillance probe, a UFO from another dimension? Or maybe I've just been watching too much Joe Rogan. I don't know. You let me know in the comments what you think. Is it real or not?
Funny guy.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Funny guy.
It's crazy. I see it crazy. It's gonna get nuts.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special announcement. Ben Schneider has just joined the Sea Organization. Well done, Ben. I look forward to the next billion years with you guys. Yeah! That's awesome.
Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks so much.
Okay, breaking news. It is over. Or at least
it's paused because the US and China have finally reached a deal and both have agreed to lower tariffs by 114%, and the market's already going crazy. That means that the US tariffs on Chinese goods were reduced from a peak of 145% down to 30% for a 90-day period, and Chinese tariffs on America have been lowered from 125% to only 10% for the same period. Both take effect immediately, and stock markets in both countries have seen a boost, and traders are calling this a Geneva breakthrough because it was agreed in Switzerland. But what do you guys think? Is this good news? Does this make you feel like all of that panic was for nothing? Let me know.
Reaction has a reaction. Right. Like Biden went so fucking stupidly far toward a pretty much come one, come all, just walk right in policy.
Yeah.
And they have to own that to a degree.
Right.
Again, I do not support what Trump is doing, but I get where it comes from.
Yeah.
Action, reaction.
Right.
If you go that far, almost to your point you were asking me a minute ago about who's more right or left.
Yeah.
Like, if you go that far left, what do you expect? You are going to get people who come in and go that far right.
Yeah.
So in a way, and if you don't win the election, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Democrats have a lot of looking in the mirror to do.
No doubt.
So what are you going to do for dinner tonight?
The answer's as easy as KFC.
For a very short time only, treat your family to a KFC feast with the Colonel's 10-piece meal deal.
Ooh, that's a whole lot of food for not a whole lot of money.
Get 10 delicious pieces of the Colonel's chicken, 2 large home-style sides, and 4 freshly baked biscuits, all for just $12.99. Hurry, this deal ends soon.
Want to do chicken right at a right good price? Come see me.
A Florida father is going viral after showing just how costly a day trip to Disney World has become.
Before we even got into the park, it cost me $30 just for parking. And even being a Florida resident, tickets for a family of 5 with one child under 10 was still $974. The rest of the family decided they want to go to dinner at downtown Disney Springs. This place was my literal hell, totaling $245.27. The grand total for our day was $1,391.91.
I kind of had a feeling it would go viral. It's very relatable. It's family friendly.
All right, y'all, we're down here at the truck stop. You don't believe in UFOs? Look at that shit, man. A fucking UFO flying around this morning. Like, share, tag, comment, go to work, get a job, be productive.
Alcohol means body-eating spirit. It's Aramaic. Okay, alcohol. It's not alcohol, it's alcohol. That's the proper translation. That's why it says spirits. Because when you drink alcohol, it is opening you up to a spiritual realm, allowing demons to enter you. If you're blacked out drunk, bro, alcohol is literally like the purest form of demon possession.
Wow.
Blacked out drunk is like, that's demon possession. And demons aren't used to being in bodies. So when you see somebody drunk, they're like, eh. It's because the demons doesn't walk in a human body like that.
And some people, when they're drunk, they get fighty. They want to fight people.
Because it's a freaking demon in them. It's not even them. In their body, they're fighting something that's fighting them. They've evoked a demon. Okay, what is alcohol? It's rotted juice. It's from the realm of death. It's gonna evoke something in you. And like, bro, it's bringing you into that realm. It's bringing you closer to the realm of dead. And then you start to see stuff. You start to experience things. Or alcohol, you get body-eating spirit. You get demons coming into you, controlling you. And this is what people are like fighting, and they don't realize how many things they're evoking.
I got abducted by aliens, and I don't remember the exact abduction, but ever since then, around 7, 8 years old, I've had like numerous supernatural extraterrestrial sightings and experiences.
So aliens appear to you?
I don't think they're like they appear to me in like a very energetic form. I never seen like a little gray dude with big eyes, but I'm seeing like a big plasmoid that was in hues of yellow that was trying to figure out its shape. It looked like a vibrating like water droplet.
How does that? Is it like a scary feeling when that happens?
It's scary after you're in awe. You can't be scared once it's happening because it's so like unique and powerful. But then once you really start to think about what's going on, like it goes away. The entity will go away because you can't interact with it fear-based. But I want to show you the implant. So it's attached to my nervous system and it's magnetic. As you see my blood veins.
That's an implant of what?
I don't know. It's been here since I was a child. Oh, wow. I mean, it's magnetic, I'll show you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very real what I'm saying.
So you That's always, you were just born with that?
I found out about it when I was around 7. A magnet stuck to my finger like this.
Have you gone to like a doctor?
They all had no answers.
Really?
We went to 4 doctors so far now. They are a little bit hesitant to do further studies since he has no pain.
4 different hospitals in Los Angeles. None of them had answers. Crazy. Does it bother you?
No.
Do you think it was from aliens?
Yeah, I think it had to be because there's no stitches and it's attached to my veins. And it's been there since I was a kid. And I have no recollection. I never had surgery in my life. But I've seen things and experienced things like in person.
He also has the hex spot on the back of his skull.
Yeah, it's like 6. I don't know if you can see it.
Where is it at?
It's like 1, 2,
oh, okay.
4, 5, 6, right in the center.
Please, for the love of God, tell me that I'm wrong. Did you know that in 2028, the Olympics is going to be held in Los Angeles County? But not just Los Angeles County, but it includes all of the northern regions of Los Angeles County. Places which include the Pacific Palisades, the San Fernando Valley, and Altadena. With just so happens to be the place.
Maybe somebody can explain this to me. The bill. Am I confused or what? So the bill
Now they're
shows
doing
that
tips
it's
for you.
$85.37. They've already added a gratuity. And then they're telling me what I should be leaving as far as a tip. A little strange, right? Imagine how many people don't check their bill. They just look at the total and pay twice the tip. What do you think? Good, bad, normal?
The Bible says the earth went dark for a period of time. And I'm thinking, wouldn't somebody else have written something about this if the earth actually went dark during that time period? Well, there was a guy named Thales who was a historian who wrote a history of the Eastern Mediterranean world in about 50 AD. His works have been lost, but in the year 221, a guy named Julius Africanus had a copy of what he wrote, and he was kind of responding to it and said, oh yeah, Thales says that the darkness was as a result of an eclipse, which we knew it couldn't have been because of the timing of the
because it was the Passover when he was crucified, and that's Passover is always a full moon.
Full moon.
That's how they know it's time for Passover.
A report by a Roman scholar and historian that is corroborating a claim in the scriptures that many people would read and say, that can't be true. Wow.
So this is one of the neat things about the U.S. Capitol. Of course, this building, construction started in the 1700s. And there are all sorts of little hidden passageways. You saw I just pulled this cover up. And you can see if we get the camera to come over, don't fall in. We don't need a workers' comp claim today. But you can see there's a passageway. These are old stairs that used to be here that were closed off. We're just off of what's called Statuary Hall, which at one time was the actual House chamber. So, and it's outside there. But this is just an example of some of the little hidden secrets in the Capitol. And so one of the things when we bring tour groups in, if it's a small enough group, it's a big group of people, but if it's a small group, we'll actually take them down this hall. Believe it or not, my big self have actually gotten down, and more importantly, out of this hall. I'm not going to debut that again for today, but suffice to say, I've been able to live and tell about it and get out of there. But it goes all the way down. It's an old staircase, and I'm told, I can't verify this, I'm told that this staircase, which opens to, if you go down, formerly open to the outside, was one of the staircases that British soldiers used when they breached the Capitol during the War of, I think it was 1814 when they actually attacked Washington. When they came in, it was one of the stairs that British soldiers actually came up. So a lot of just amazing history in this building. And so when folks come from North Carolina, we try to show things that if it's a small enough group, things are timed right, you can actually let folks go down there. The kids seem to love it. A lot of older folks, not so much. But it's just one of the neat things about the Capitol, as well as the other day-to-day things that folks see all the time. Thought I might.
The kids seem to love it. The older folks, not as much. Remember that little pizza store that's down the street in Washington, D.C.? How they talked about the underground and everyone shot it down? Called it the C word? The kids love it, but the adults seem to not. That says a lot without saying a lot.
Eating at Taco Bell in the 90s was something that today's kids will never experience. It was chaos and wild in the best way. The
Taco
moment
Bell
you
used
step
to
in,
be
you're
cheap,
greeted
man.
with those funky teal and purple seats and that iconic bell chime. You didn't need a wallet. You could literally buy anything on the menu with change. The 59, 79, 99-cent deals ran the place. Did you know that Taco Bell used to have a mascot back in the 90s? And yes, it was the Taco Bell Chihuahua. Yo quiero Taco Bell. That dog had commercials, toys, even a Halloween costume. How crazy is that? Sadly, it didn't last very long. Everything just tasted better back in the day. You could literally have a whole meal with $1. Maybe enough for cinnamon twists. It was the ultimate hangout spot back in the days. Late nights, after school runs, no problem. Talking about the aesthetics, I wish Taco Bell could bring those back one day. I mean, look at this. Aren't they just hit different? The retro cups, the paper wrap. Man, I really miss those days. Have you ever been to Taco Bell in the 90s?
I love these TikToks.
Let us know in the comments.
I honestly, sincerely, and unequivocally do not expect any of your audience to believe any of this. Robert Bigelow said to me, "They're walking among us." I said, "What do you mean they're walking among us?" I said, they're walking among us. They live right here. He's a billionaire, lives in Nevada, and he has contracts with the United States Air Force dating back God knows how long. Right. But then he said, we've done studies. We've done extensive studies on the impacts of this story would have. You take Iran-Contra and you take all these other like super big scandals and you multiply those, every one of them that's ever happened in the history of mankind, in modern history, and then you multiply that by 1 million, and that's the impact. Any reports, any pilot reports, things of that nature of UFOs all goes to Robert Bigelow's. And then the fact that he's hoarding it all and it's under armed guard in a vault at his house, like, or his whatever, his office, it kind of pisses me off a little bit.
You actually knew what they did to me. There was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Well, he let me do the whole hour and 10-minute reaction. I did have to break down the station once because he was moving, waking up. So I was like, okay, I finished 30 minutes. I'll come back, finish the last 30 minutes at his next nap. He went back to sleep. Let me finish the video. He's due to eat at 11:30 and it's 12 o'clock. So I know he'll be waking up any minute. Maybe he'll let me edit and upload, but that's the easy part, y'all. I can do that with him on my lap, y'all. That's a piece of cake. But anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's reaction. If you made it this far, you know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. It's an ugly, windy day. I'm a little bit, not really under the weather, but I feel it coming. My throat's itching. Mama Bear has been sick, a head cold, and she passed on the sore throat, itchy throat to me. So hopefully this is as worse as it gets, but I'm just going to go out there, sandstorm the front and backyard, move all the yard ornaments inside, patio furniture, put it in the garage, cover the grill. That's all my chores today, y'all. But I hope you guys loved the video. I got to get going, y'all. He's going to wake up any minute. I got to do some editing, so you guys got this video later on today. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow on the next one. Hope everyone out there has a good day. Later.